The HSBC Waratahs are in South Africa, where tonight they will face Durban's Sharks. Ben Robinson is on the well-trodden path of game day preparation.
Yeah, it's a fairly quiet day. I try and get a fairly big sleep in. Wake up by having a decent breakfast, a couple of poached eggs and toast. We play cricket, backs versus forwards. Forwards generally win. We had a good win today as well, so that was a big plus for us. Yeah! And then just, I suppose about 3:30, 4 o'clock, switch on, start getting your bag ready. It's just about focusing yourself, getting yourself ready for the game and, making sure that you're in that right space of mind.
Tonight's match will be played at the iconic Kings Park Stadium, known locally as the Shark Tank, where assistant team manager Nick Verhelst is already preparing the dressing room for the team's arrival.
So it's about 2 hours before the team arrives here to the ground, about 2 hours and 40 minutes before kick-off. Brought in Kane and all the boys who aren't playing today, so try and keep them busy and as many hands as possible. Obviously we don't have the help of the volunteers back in Sydney.
This period of quiet before the storm is the most critical in terms of psychological preparation. Games can often be mentally won and lost during the hour before kick-off. Deep within the inner sanctum, players focus on their roles, visualise the execution of their skills, and prepare their bodies for the 80 minutes ahead. Despite the numerous injury worries, the team is coming off the back of 3 straight wins, which has provided some critical momentum.
Right, everyone makes a decision, whether good or bad, we go hard at it, alright? Look each other in the eye, know that we'll be there for each other for 80 minutes. Let's do this.
A win in tonight's game will increase the chances of making the finals. Problem is, the opposition are trying to do exactly the same.
To Hoffman, Lambie. Oh, he's straight through! Patrick Lambie gets another one! This might be a score at the other end. What a breakout from Highlanders. There's only one man chasing across and it's Keegan Daniel. There goes the pass. Lucky Turner is in. What a try!
We talked all week about a low tackle focus on their ball runners. We're going high, they're getting an extra metre or two with getting behind. Get them on the ground quick. That's good.
As I said before, we do it for each other. Right? It's going to take an 80-minute effort, right? But if we tighten up on detail, right, we're going to have plenty more opportunities.
Oh, this is turnover ball. JP Peterson, he's only got one man in front of him. He skins him. He's got Stephen de Blanche with him. Pins his ears back. JP Peterson gets a classic. Oh! That is brilliant. Referee says it's all over. And the Sharks swap places with the Waratahs in the long.
Despite a healthy lead going into the final quarter, the players are left to ponder what might have been. The history books don't bother listing an effort column, and despite an impressive display, the loss hurts the team more than any other so far this year. The next morning's recovery session takes place in the shark-infested waters of the Indian Ocean. This irony is not lost on the players. But the chilly waves will not be enough to cure the injury to Sekope Kepu.
Yeah, it was at the time it was sort of disappointing to be sort of to get injured and early on in the game, but also in such a crucial encounter against the Sharks. So, as I've sort of alluded to earlier on, it's all part of the package and part of the game. So, what can you do? I don't like to say it's the end of the season. There's still a little bit of hope there. I've massive faith in the boys that that they can go right through.
They hold it and they...
The ailment guarantees Kepu an immediate flight home to Sydney and forces some awkward lifestyle adjustments.
What about when you sleep?
I want to sleep with it, yeah.
You're going to sleep with that on?
Yeah. So it was a bit uncomfortable last night. I sort of had it on the pillows. And
so then you can have like a pretty sleepless night and then just doze on the plane? Yeah, that'll help.
I mean, we can't shy away from the amount of injuries we've had in the squad. Really unfortunate to have key guys like Drew and Warrior out for the majority of the season.
Sekope Kepu's name is added to that list. A flight home and months of rehabilitation await.
Pause and go! This is day 9 of our South African tour, and coaches have decided to train this morning, so it's 9:05 in the morning. We're just heading off to the school to have a quick session. There aren't many jobs where you get to travel the world and travel places like South Africa and New Zealand and be involved in a sport like rugby, which I love. Yeah, you are here to work, and that's your job, and that's your role, and that's why you're here. So it is pretty full on. I think when we went to Nelson, because we got a connecting flight to Auckland, we had to split up on a couple.
The decision to stay in Durban for the next 5 days has eased the pressure on the logistics staff. Management has resisted the temptation to move to Pretoria in return for a warmer climate, lower altitude and regular routine. Despite the heartbreaking loss, spirits are high.
Keep going, green here, mate, green. Tiger, yes!
None more so than Kurtley Beals.
Good hit, Bears. It's all right, hold middle, Bears.
There's a big scope to go back.
Yeah.
Get him behind their back line and then we can burn them there. Okay. Second phase?
Yep.
Beals' range of natural skills, together with his ability to continue developing as a player, has produced some impressive form this season. In the absence of his kicking guru Matthew Burke, the substitute teacher for today is none other than former Springbok Bram van Straten.
Leg up and kick for me. But keep the same body position and keep your chest towards the strike. Okay? That's where I want you to be consistent.
Okay.
Okay?
At the point of contact.
Yes. Okay.
Oh, like back. Ooh.
Yes.
Whereas the leg, there should be at that.
The advice is timely, as Beals' goal kicking will be vital in the coming weeks. The next morning, reinforcements in the form of a familiar face arrives at the team breakfast.
Yeah, basically it's pretty amazing sitting at home Sunday afternoon, watching a few documentaries with my missus, and then get a phone call, come to South Africa next morning. So quickly packed my bag, went and got my passport, and here I am.
For any player at a professional level, it's essential to have off-field interests and activities that provide downtime from the intensity of training and games. One player who is well known for his diverse range of pursuits off the paddock is Jeremy Tilse.
I don't distance rugby from my everyday way. Rugby's always part of my life. I just like to, I suppose, balance it. I find for me to perform, I need to get away from it. So when I do come back to rugby, I'm ready to go. I'm enjoying it, loving it. That balance really helps me. I get away, I go work on the boat, I look after a few properties, love the boat, love having the parties on the boat, things like that really makes yourself enjoy what you're doing. It doesn't stop the fact that I still train hard, train very hard, put a lot of effort into rugby. It's just when I go home, I like to relax. I like to get away from it and sort of change my lifestyle a bit. Yeah, so today on the boat we've got a 30th, Mon Gerard, Dave Dennis's girlfriend. Well, I think we'll just take him out for a bit of a cruise, have some seafood, a few drinks, and see how the night ends up. They'll have a bit of fun, have a lot of fun actually. It's a good crew.
We were actually asked what we do outside of rugby, and not many of us can provide much, but Tilse came up with about 15 different things that we all wish we probably were doing, so obviously his boat's a big part of his life that he's brought.
And just as any other elite player knows he can't play forever, apparently the same can be said for seafaring vessels.
Boat went down about sort of 3 weeks ago. Sprung aboard, sank overnight while it's on its mooring. I got a phone call one morning saying your boat sunk, and rushed out of bed, drove out there, and it was sunk, definitely. And I was a bit surprised, but we move on. We were going to either restore it, but basically the state it was in, it was not worth doing. So I've actually got a few properties going up, a few buildings getting built back in Newcastle, where I'm originally from, and we'll use some of that timber to make staircases, kitchen benches, furniture like that. Just put it straight down there, then we'll flip it back. 3, 2, 1.
Pause and go!
For most guests, the hotel pool is for rest and relaxation. For the Tahs, it is a method of recovery and the only environment where the chance of injury is almost nil.
Did you want a coffee?
Oh, yeah.
No, I'm off for coffee.
On terra firma, Chris Hickey announces his team to play the Bulls.
And Kane Douglas. Look, when you come to Africa, you know you're going to face some big...
It has been a roller coaster year so far, and even the head coach is not immune to the testing times experienced in 2011.
There's no doubt there isn't an emotional component in coaching, but I think with experience you learn that you've got to even out the highs and the lows. There's no doubt when you lose, it hurts. I've got a saying that I read early in my coaching days that I keep in front of me in the office, which says, just remember, you're never as smart as they say you are when you win, and you're never as stupid when you lose.
A similar adjective could be used to describe travelling within Africa. A simple domestic flight to Pretoria has been delayed due to a forklift being driven into the side of the plane. A 1-hour wait has turned into 4, with the team doing anything to entertain themselves and terminal patrons. And constant travel is certainly a bitter pill to swallow when playing Super Rugby.
Got guys who are spending a lot of time away from their family. You know, I'm fortunate enough to room with Al Baxter, and you know, he spends a lot of time away from his young family, and that'd be extremely hard. So there's plenty of things that make life not probably the little fairy tale that people see as professional sportsmen.
Everyone on the board has seen
This is a big game, coming here to play the Bulls. They're the title holders. We're playing them in their own backyard. It's a big game. We know that. But I don't think this team has ever been better prepared to meet the challenge that they're going to put out tomorrow night and the opportunity that'll be there for us. When I talk about our preparation, I'm not just talking about what we've done over the last week. I'm talking about things that started 8 months ago. These are also the games that, when you look back on your career later, these are the big games that you'll remember. And in many ways, you know, these are the games that we prepare for. I know you've got to front up every week to a game, but coming here, taking these blokes on in their own backyard will be a highlight of your career.
Two words are synonymous with rugby supremacy in South Africa. Loftus Versfeld, the menacing graveyard for many visiting teams. This will be game 14 for the HSBC Waratahs against the defending champions, the Blue Bulls of Pretoria.
Let's go. First time going to come to Loftus. About you, been here before?
Yeah, I've been here once.
I've never been here. Should be good. Pretty famous little stadium, this one. Not quite little at all. It's huge.
Focus. Where are you?
There you go, Al Baxter.
This one?
Yeah. Different photo, isn't it?
Yeah. It doesn't look the same.
Last year's winners, the Bulls sit in 7th place. A win will see them overtake the visitors.
Hoogart, Van den Heever, this is where he's very dangerous. Olivier's run off the ball beautifully. Burgess, Beale, Barnes, beautiful hands by Barnes, releases Pacolini, and the Bulls will come away with the 4 points.
All right, okay, we're straight into dinner. Happy for you to eat as is. Look after yourselves tonight, stick together as a group, put all the details on the board in the team room, but we've got to stick together tonight. Okay.
.30s, so 30 hard, 30 recovery. Okay, and you get about 20 minutes done. We're at the Bulls training facility. They've been very kindly let us use the facility this morning for our recovery session. How'd you go last night, Al? Purpose of the session is to help the players disperse some of the lactic acid that's built up in their muscles, get them moving again.
KB. Can you do it? Do that with a walking lunge.
Oh, walking lunge, eh?
With arm action. Okay, so it's nice lunging. Just slow it down so you're lunging it out, okay?
Pause and go! Following the recovery session, the team enjoys their last few hours in Africa at a regular eating establishment.
We enjoy very much having the Australian teams here, but we have a special relationship with the Waratahs. We've been feeding the chaps for over 10 years now, and we kind of developed a relationship. I sometimes get postcards from some of the players, which is very touching.
The 5-star meal signifies the end of the African tour. 2 losses from 2 games was not ideal, but the team has reignited a hunger, an important factor in the lead-up to the finals. Many players have aspirations of one day wearing the blue of the HSBC Waratah jersey. One exceptional young player who is rising through the ranks to secure his spot is halfback Brendan McKibbon.
You know, a lot to like about Brendan, and I guess his performances throughout 2010, where again he was named the Club Player of the Year in the Sydney Club competition. reinforced, I guess, our view on him that he was a talented young footballer who was on the way up.
My name is Brendan McKibbon and I'm a halfback for the HSBC Waratahs. I was originally born in Scotland and my parents moved to Queensland, so I've been living in Queensland for most of my life and moved to New South Wales for rugby opportunities in 2010. I'm a very competitive person and rugby's a team and very much a competitive sport. The physicality of it is brilliant and the friendships that you can get from rugby and you have them for the rest of your life is really valuable. I think the Waratahs culture is really good. Everyone's so close, everyone's really tight-knit and when you come in here you can have a lot of fun, there's a lot of hard work and I think there's a belief within the group that when you're here you're the ultimate professional, you're working hard and striving to reach your goals. Everyone has their own individual goals and there's team goals as well that everyone's trying to achieve. So when everyone's working towards that, it's a great vibe around here.
He works very hard in his game and hopefully he can play a big part in the Waratah success and for him individually he can push forward and put his hand up into Wallaby selection one day.
We've got numbers here.
McKibbon's participation in the penultimate round-robin match against the Highlanders will be limited to running the water, but in the style of a true optimist, Kibbo offers more than just hydration.
Go for it! Go!
Tommy Carter!
Oh, yes!
Great stuff! Well done, Hank. Eyes up on that light side, Locke. Get the boys to work up off the ground. In attack, yeah.
The team find the form that started this season with such promise. The kind of rugby that isn't about entertainment, but more about style and skill execution.
Go, Tuffy! Go! Go! Yes, Davey!
Great support, mate. Great support. Well done, Latch.
The Highlanders, still finals contenders, are taken to the sword.
Go, Tuff! Yes!
Tommy! Keep going.
The season is turning, but is it too late to provide stern opposition in the final series?
Keep going, Sitter. Bit of momentum, mate. A big hit. Something, Sit.
Go, Tom! Go, Tom! Yes! Oh!
Emery. Oh, so about you! I tell you what, that was an unreal feeling. It had all the excitement of a finals and the boys really dug deep. A great effort, great win tonight.
Look after our bodies, and then again, it's all about our mentality going next week because the Brumbies will be up for it. They always are, and we know it's it's not just another game, right? This is the game that goes, puts us into the finals.
Yeah, it's pretty embarrassing. I think after all the carry-on out there post-try celebrations, I'm not allowed to talk till Friday, and I think I've got the week off training. So one of those things. I think you try and not act like an idiot when you score, but I get so excited, and then just great to win for the team though.
Tap. Horwell carries again. Gets within.
Turn over.
Oh, they're going to score, mate. Red's ball. Cooper. Long ball. Cut out. Try.